Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Insights. This is a Landmark Titles monthly webinar. We bring you the facts, stats, figures on Maricopa County every first Thursday of the month. And this month happens to be not only the first Thursday, the first day of the month. So these are really hot off the press today. We are joined with our guest speaker, Scott Kiburz. He is the ARMLS Specialist. And Scott has got some amazing information to share. Our market has been changing. It's been changing. But there's some speculations that it might be leveling off. So I'm really excited to hand this over to Scott and find out what, in fact, is really going on in our market right now.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. Please know if you've ever heard the phrase death by PowerPoint, we could do that today because we have 30 minutes and 108 slides. Now, obviously, we're not going to hit every one of those, but please know we're going to hit the highlights of what you need to know. And then if you want to drill into a local community, Litchfield Park, Peoria, Gold Canyon, those are in the second half of the presentation today. But fast facts out of the gate for us. This morning in Maricopa County, 14,862 active listings, of which 12,067 are single family, townhomes 1,110, condos 880, manufactured homes up slightly to 507. We sold 3,969 homes in Maricopa County. Our absorption rate has slowed from 25% down to 21.45% in Maricopa County. Coming soon at 301, interest rates 6 to 7.5%. Our average sale price came down from the 540 range down to the 526, 836 range. Those are the fast facts of the morning, everybody. Let's go to the next slide, Sarah. So our agenda today is we're going to look at some national information from NAR, and let me just stop right here on line 1. For those out there listening live or listening later, look at the website nar.realtor.com. And I tell you that a lot of us all know that website, but please know NAR has really top graded specifically data and statistics, and they've created presentations that are PowerPoint driven. I'm going to show you some of the slides here coming up next, but they are ready to go that you could harvest and then take to a buyer consultation or a listing consultation. They've really top graded and made it easy for you to handle data. And so congratulations to nar.realtor.com. They're right there at their fingertips, very intuitive to access. Mike Del Prete has updated this morning at about 2 a.m. some couple slides on what he thinks is happening with Real Estate Insight. Couple slides on mindset further down about storytelling, key data in Maricopa County, changes in our nation, a little story there, and then the local update is equal to the second half of the 106 slides. Sarah, let's go. So this is tongue-in-cheek humor, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lawrence Yun, and I was fortunate to see this man speak in person 3 times this year, most recently in Orlando, Florida, earlier this, well, I guess it was November last month. But I loved the title of this slide, Market Insight, because we've been using Market Insight now. Sarah, help me.
Almost I think we're going on 3 years. You know, it's funny. I actually, we started this about the same time as our Marketing Matters webinar, and that's a weekly webinar. And we have 101 episodes with that. So if you break that down weekly, obviously missing some of the holidays, I think it's 2.5 years that we've been doing this now.
And so Lawrence Yun, again, I've had the privilege, thank you, Sarah. I've had the privilege to see him speak now 3 times. But this is one of his slides, Market Insight, and it was the lead off. So that's tongue-in-cheek humor from me to everybody out there in Zoom land. Next slide, please. So this is one of the slides that is from the NAR update. And this is one of Lawrence's personal slides in a presentation he gave just less than a month ago. And we talk about our national economy going into a recession, and 2 quarters of decline in gross domestic profit is deemed a recession. Well, in Q1, Q2, we had a decline. By default, that's a recession. but please look how close to zero that was. And we sprang back in Q3 of the year. So again, point to everybody out here about statistics. Statistics don't lie, and liars use statistics. And there's several groups out there saying a recession's coming, a recession's come and gone. We did have 2 lower months or quarters in our GDP, Q1 and Q2. So that's a true statement. That graph is a true statement. Now, if you go to the next statement, next slide, this is what it looks like in terms of real estate investment and cutting in the GDP. We had a very little change in Q4 of 2021, a little bit in Q2, but Q1 of 2022, a bigger dip in Q2 and a bigger dip in Q3. So those two, if you isolate into the real estate world of our national GDP, real estate has come down more. That's the point I want to make. Sarah? Okay, so to buy a medium priced home nationwide in 2022, due to the rise in interest rates, the average household income is approaching high $88,000, $90,000 to afford a median income, a median priced home in your local market. That's about $88,000 to $90,000 a year. That's a pretty steep rise in just 12 months. And the reason it's less in 2021 and 2020 is due to interest rates. Sarah, next slide. Big slide, big perspective to share. And this is what I love about what the NAR folks can do, is we're showing this graph all the way back to 1981. And the year is about 1986, 87, where first-time home buyers had a low percent of 30% of all homes purchased. And it rose in 2010, 2011 to 50%. But currently in 2022, it's in an all-time low since the year 1981, down to 26%. And so there's messaging, programs, interest rate buy downs to help first-time home buyers get into a home. But it's at a national low in 40 years. Sarah? This is a phenomenal graph. This has to do with the result of the pandemic. If you look at on the bottom left, 1989, and it's about 10, that means 10 miles. And if you go to 2021, it's 15 miles. That was the average distance moved not to exceed for home buyers who were between their previous home and their next home. But when we got into the year 2022, that has risen from 15 to a staggering 50 miles. And if you aggregate everybody together, that's the people in the East Coast moving out to Florida. There's people in the West Coast moving. People are changing dramatically their life and their location more than ever. Thank you, Sarah. Next slide. Another great slide. I love this slide. When I first got into real estate, the average home owner in Arizona owned a home for 5 years. It slowed all the way down to 3 years, and people would move. It's crawled back up to 8. It then slid back down. Ladies and gentlemen, after the pandemic and after this interest rate that everybody enjoyed, sub 4%, the median expected buyer tenure in a home right now is 18 years. 18 years. And people will stay in the home and remodel it or live without that extra bedroom just to maintain that lower interest rate monthly payment. That is genius knowledge to have, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, Sarah. Sellers want full service agents. Again, in this pandemic, in the iBuyer market, in all the disruption changes that are happening in our industry, people using a real estate agent and wanting that is still at a near high of 87%. You're highly sought after, well-trained, well-coached, an agent that is great at communication and negotiation and marketing. They are highly sought after. Next slide, Sarah. This is coming into John Burns. Just a couple things. So Long-term housing definition. So I like how he puts a definition out. And is the market recovering, growing, plateauing, slowing, falling, and bottoming? These are his descriptors. Next slide, Sarah. And this is what he's showing for major markets in the United States. And in the red falling is Phoenix, Arizona. Now I'm going back to Lawrence Yun when I saw him in August. He said Phoenix will be one of the last to go down and the first to come up in terms of housing prices. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the NAR national economist was wrong. I don't mean to be hard, but we enjoyed a significant uptick in our home prices the last 24 to 36 months, one of the highest increases in the nation. And with that, our prices have been falling. And so are there some things happening in our market that are going to bring it back? I think so. But by definition, especially by John Burns, the Phoenix, Las Vegas marketplace is definitely in a falling segment. Good to know. Sarah, next slide. This is just a couple quick slides from Mike Delpree, if you like how he thinks. What he's showing here in this slide are 5 publicly traded companies and the decline in their revenue. I'm not being hard on any one of those companies. This is really the setup to say, hey, on the far left, they're down 12%. On the far right, they're down 26% in their revenues from Q2 to Q3. Now, the next slide is the one that becomes more important, Sarah. In this situation, there's still 5 companies, but in pink, mauve color is the national market, and the national market is down 9%. And so when you look through this slide, you can see where this is transaction volume, by the way, where people land with this. And so at a national level, our market is down 9%. Locally, our transactions are down as much as 25% in Maricopa County, and our home prices are down between 9 and 12%, depending on who you talk to. Sarah, next slide, please. So this is where mindset would normally be at the top of the presentation. I inserted it right here. I've come to love this quote for the month or the last 30 days. Maybe stories are just data with soul. And so let's give a couple stories about data and see if we can put some soul into it. Sarah? Okay, on your left, ladies and gentlemen, from Arcadia looking north, kind of like from Old Town Scottsdale north to Camelback Mountain, 1925 is Phoenix, Arizona, cutting hay. Top right, the year is 1962. That's Scottsdale Healthcare Osborne campus, the first hospital in Scottsdale. It is opening month in 1962. Bottom right is modern day Scottsdale Hospital. And if you look hard right on that bottom photo, you see just a little mountain peeking over. That's the same Camelback Mountain that is in the hay harvesting picture. And what has happened in 100 years? 100 years is really not that long in our nation's history now. Sarah, next slide, please. So when you're working with clients, what mode are they in? Are they in growth mode? Do they have twins on the way? Is an elderly parent coming to live with a family and they need a bigger home? They need to do it quickly. Are they, by a definition, called trouble mode or decline? Are they an empty nester and the house is too big and I need to sell that and move into something smaller, or an assisted living? Are they even keel? My kids just started middle school. They want to graduate from the same school district. Even though I could afford a newer home, a bigger home, I'm even keel. I'm not going to do any buying and selling decisions because I like my children to graduate from this same school district. Overconfident, we've all had to deal with them in terms of buyers and sellers. You know, the house comps at 700 and the seller says, yeah, but my house is worth 895 all day long. Those are the most difficult clients to work with when they're overconfident, and they usually are in trouble mode, and it takes a longer period of time for them to come alongside you. So I wanted to share these modes of buyers and sellers because we've moved through a speed-based market into a relationship-based market. And now if you've got an overconfident listing seller who's like, hey, I want what my neighbor got a year ago. Well, now they're overconfident because that market has shifted. And so I just want to re-present this information to everybody as a reminder of how to best work with buyers and sellers. What mode are they in? Next slide, please. Okay, like this quote, when someone shares their hopes and dreams with us, and that's happening a lot of times when you're working with buyers and sellers, you are witnessing their deep courage and vulnerability. We get to celebrate with them when things are easy, but when disappointment happens, it's an incredible opportunity for meaningful connection. And the deeper the connection, the stronger you're going to work together as a team to achieve the closing of a listing or the closing of a buy side. Sarah, again, congratulations on the closing of your home on Monday. And I know you're going to have a great Christmas as a result. Next slide, please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if we pause right here on this slide, this one's very important. So this is just a run rate. We do this the first day of the month. This was done very early this morning. But what I want to point out to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the total actives in ARMLS are down from just shy of 21,000 to just over 19,000. So it's a decrease of 1,850 listings, fewer than we had just 30 days ago, which tells us the inventory is decreasing and potentially stabilizing. I always like to look at the totals in Maricopa County. We have 14,863 down from 16,092. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another pause there about Maricopa County. Maricopa County is only 10% of the landmass of our state, 10%. However, it is, depending on the month, we're somewhere between 72 and 80% of the monthly home sales happen in Maricopa County. And that's why we like to track Maricopa County first. It is the bellwether of our state and our metro. Single families, 12,000, townhomes, a little decrease, condos, not much of, almost no decrease, slight decrease in total under contract with backup, coming soon down. Pending, ladies and gentlemen, pending this morning at 3,349 homes. We're going to have a slow December, right? Just because these homes that are pending will be closed or hopefully closed by the end of the month. And so when we get down to the very bottom slot or bottom numeric, total single family sold 3,148. That might be in the high 2,000s this time, January 1. Is that uncommon? Do things slow down a little bit during the holidays? They do. And I've got a graph here coming up that just shows how slow our closings are. The capacity, the model systems that we have with title companies, lenders, and realtors in our metro, we could be doing 3 times this amount of transactions and still keep pace. Okay, Sarah, enough of that slide. Let's move on. Again, quick statistics, 4,000 listings with 153 zip codes is just 26 listings per zip code. We were at 105 this time last month. Right now, this month, we have 97 active listings per zip code in our whole metro. Sarah? Okay, this is what's happened since we last talked. So this morning, 15,084 active listings, under contract 5,469. What I want to point out, and I'm going to call it a leveling, Sarah set me up well. When you see in the blue and the red line bottom left sold to list ratio, median and average, we are sensing a leveling, and it's coming in just under 98, just over 98% of sold to list. And then when you look at the bar graphs on the right, you're seeing as we moved into November, again, slightly down, but not down that much. And so we're seeing potentially a leveling happening here. Sarah, next slide. Here's the graphic, ladies and gentlemen, on supply and demand. And it's showing the blue line has lifted to 4.6 months of supply, and our absorption rate has dipped down to 21.45. And so that's where we are right this minute. So if I've got 100 homes in a zip code, which is about our average right now, it's 97. It's really saying that 20 out of the 100 homes are going to sell this month, or 21 and a half homes a month are going to sell is the average. That's how to interpret that. Sarah, next slide. Okay, a couple more things are happening. We're going into the holidays, so this is anticipated, and our active residential listings are down from the peak. They're down a little over 1,000, 1,200 doors since this time a month ago. And that was just as of this morning. Sarah? Under contract, we're technically, on this graph, we're technically up from the bottom where we were this time a month ago. Sarah? Next slide, please. Okay, let's see. Oh, go back one. I'm sorry, I got too rushed there. Closed. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the 4118. Sarah, this is what we were anticipating on Tuesday, and it did happen. We did just tip over into the 4,000 range. This number was in the 3,600 range on Tuesday. End of the month, there's usually a lot of closings, or more than the daily average. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, we're averaging per day, Saturday, Sunday, holidays included, we're averaging about 118 closings a day right now. And we're used to doing far more than that at our capacity. We thought this number, Sarah, was going to come in somewhere between 41 and 4,500 homes. It did just get over the 4,000 mark, 4,118 in the last 2 days. Sarah?
Barely.
Okay, so this, we're going to spend a minute here on this slide. This is new listings, and new listings here. We added 6,046 doors in the month of November. And that, in the grand scheme of things, is very low, right? It's the lowest we've had in 2+ years. When you look at the month of June and you see that peak of 12,309, I want to reiterate this. We've touched on this in the past, but when the market started changing in April and May, and we took off with the number of listings hitting the market, the reason for that surge, ladies and gentlemen, was the iBuyers. There's no emotional attachment for the iBuyers. They wanted to clear their inventory. They would list that property. If it didn't sell this week, chances are they're going to reduce it the next. And if it didn't sell, they're going to reduce it the next. And so literally in a little over 6 months, they have cleared that iBuyer inventory compared to what was out there. This is, in essence, what I consider to be real, and real for a holiday. It's 6,046 doors. And we're used to seeing a decline in the holiday season. So it's not that bad, is the point. Sarah? Canceled. So what I want to do here, ladies and gentlemen, we just tipped over 4,100 closed transactions. And those who are math whizzes, take this on the far right, 19,027 canceled listings in the month of November, and take that number and add it to the next slide, Sarah. Add that to 716 expireds, and to the next slide, Sarah, to the temporary off market at 1933, and you're going to get those 3 pieces, temporary off market, expired, and canceled together, are more homes than we closed this month. That is unusual for us, but that's the market of the moment, and everybody needs to know and understand that. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is just a slight twist, and we're moving into the final turn with the other second half of the 50 slides. But what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, is for the first time ever, I've added Maricopa County and Pinal County into one slide to say what is happening there. So let's spend a minute. If you take all of Maricopa County, Pinal County, Queen Creek, and Maricopa, our listings are up 197%. Solds are down 54%. Prices are up 0.5% from where they were a year ago, November this time. Our month of supply is up to 4.86, and our days on market are at 50. That is everything in Maricopa County, everything in Pinal County combined. Now, we're going to tell some stories with Soul, as we talked about earlier. Sarah, next slide, please. This is the makeup of those numbers that I just shared with you for both Maricopa and Pinal County. Takeaways here, we're still at 82% as a normal cell, the green pie-shaped circle. New builds are at 7%. There's more of those happening in Pinal than there are in Maricopa County, but they're aggregated together. It works out to 7%. Flips are just under 10%, and other being distressed are at 1%. That is everything combined Maricopa, Pinal County. Now let's drill down. Next slide, please. And let's look at this is just Maricopa County. So we're still at 82% in normal transaction. New builds are 6.98, and it's aggregated down a little bit from the 7 of Pinal. And flips are closer to 9 than they are 10 at 9.16 flipped homes. Next slide. Okay, so here is something I just want you to breathe in and take in, everybody in the audience. So our current listings, the number of listings are in the green bar, and you're seeing the low to the left, and it's risen, and we hit the highest number of active listings in October, and the number of active listings moving into November, December 1 is down from its peak. It's cycling. And then what you look at with the black line versus the orange line, the average dollar per square foot, median dollar per square foot, you're seeing the rise and fall. Now, this is active listings. This is not under contract or pending or sold. This is active listings and where they are for all Maricopa County aggregated together. And there is a story there. Okay, so we are going to list higher than we are probably going to be pending and probably what we're at sold. Sarah, next slide. This is under contract. So please know the number of listings under contract are actually higher December 1 than they were November 1. And that green bar is barely above water in the month of October. You still see the average there, median and average dollar per square foot. And this is under contract, just Maricopa County. Next slide. Here is the sold volume. Same graph, just tipping over to sold, and those graphs stay in a line. We had a very low mark in that green bar on the far right in November. You see that our closed units were the lowest it's been since November of 2020. When you're talking to a listing agent or a buying agent or lister, seller, or buyer, it's great for them to understand this trend. That is the market easier or harder, more challenging to navigate? In the Gary Keller book, Shift, Bulletproof Every Transaction, if you have something that is under contract, make sure you're crossing every T, double, triple checking so that no mistakes are made, and give a reason for the lister to cancel, the seller to cancel, and or the buyer to cancel. Next slide. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, again, I use that phrase, liars use statistics and statistics don't lie. So on your left is Maricopa County, and on your right is Pinal County. And this is what it looks like with the bubbles. And so please know, let's just hit a couple highlights here. Under Maricopa County, active listings at 206%, and they're up 0.7 of 1% in yellow for the year. At the same time, Pinal County, their active listings are 163, and they're up 1.9% median sale price. But under the yellow median sale price for Maricopa County, it's $256.47 aggregated together. Pinal County by default is 20% lower at $198 per square feet. So when you bring all those numbers together in both counties, it skews, right? And it technically skews lower in dollar per square foot, sale price, etc. So hold that in your mindset for just a second. Now, the third option here is we've got 19,090 total listings, 19,090, but 14,800 Maricopa County, 2,796 are in Pinal County. Ladies and gentlemen, there is over 1,300 listings that are marketed in the Arizona Regional MLS that are outside Maricopa and Pinal County. They could be in the White Mountains. They can be in, truly, they can be in Mexico or Utah. If somebody has an MLS access and they have membership and they want to market their home, they do that. And my point to everybody on this screen is that skews the numbers. So that is why we traditionally just use Maricopa County. Now there's a story there, but let's explode that story even further. Next slide. So here is all of Maricopa County in November. Please note this, two things. Going back to November 1st and then going back a year ago, active listings were up 178%. And look in yellow, if you went back from November 1st to November of 2021, housing prices were still up 6.4% from where they were a year ago. Next slide. When we jump into December, we're up 200% in our listings. And oh my, we aggregate down to 0.6 of 1% from where we were a year ago this time. We are almost the same as where we were a year ago this time, with exception. Now we're going to do another story. Sarah? Earlier this in November, when I was at the NAR event, I was fortunate to land in Orlando, oblivious to tropical storm Nicole coming in. But if I would have taken the afternoon flight that day, I wouldn't have landed and the airport was closed the next day. And that was the path of Nicole. Now, for everybody out there, I'd never been in a hurricane or tropical storm before. I would describe it as a hard monsoon season or day that lasts for half a day in Phoenix. It just lasted for 3 days. And oh, by the way, if I was standing in the conference center, I could not see my hotel 3/4 of a mile away, even though it had big red lights on the side of the building because the fog and the clouds were so dense. Couldn't even see my hotel. That was this time a month ago. Sarah, that storm caused destruction on the coast. So just 90 minutes to 2 hours away from me, this was happening. And let me tell you, if you're a realtor and you're getting ready to close on one of these oceanfront homes, they're not closing. Your world has changed, right? And so destruction like this puts a huge hold on everything. And I didn't witness anything like this, but I was literally 90 minutes away from it. Next slide. So last night, yesterday, this was the volcano in Hawaii. And then the next slide, Sarah. While we were sleeping, this is what the two volcanoes look like. I mean, these are live and happening now. Does it have any impact on Southern California? No. Does it have any impact on Kauai? Not really. But for this island, oh my, it's changing the dynamic of their marketplace as we speak. And there's no idea when this will end. But this literally is within the last 18 to 20 hours. Sarah? Okay, so now I wanted to be dramatic in that example to everybody here because we just went through Maricopa County and these numbers, which seemed kind of sterile. Well, I pulled Paradise Valley up to the top. Active listings in Paradise Valley are only 28%, up from where they were a year ago. But look at that, ladies and gentlemen, we're not up 0.6 or 0.7 of 1%. Paradise Valley, the most affluent zip code in the metro, is up 30% from where it was a year ago. Next slide. They sold only 15 homes. Next slide. Here are the active listings, nothing dramatic there. Next slide. Under contract, nothing dramatic there. Next slide. Look at the explosion of dollars per square foot that just closed in those 15 homes. They went from 550 last month to just shy of 800, $750 to $800. So we have a phrase we've used a long time in my previous office. We call it the load of luxury. And that happens where the people that can afford a multi-million-dollar home show up in October, November. If you've got a home there, you want to get it listed in that time frame. And these homes normally would sell off by and close no later than June, probably May, and sooner if possible. But this is a huge explosion in dollars per square foot. I want to point that out to everybody showing up here today. And the final piece on this topic is this. When you look at interest rates going up, it is homes between $400,000 and $800,000 where they've had the hardest ability to get homes closed. You're using buy down of interest rates and other negotiating tactics. When you're getting north in our market, north of $1 million home, there's a lot of cash still out there. Chances are they're not going to be using a loan, and they can afford to buy this home, and they're just buying it. And so the luxury market by definition is the least impacted in our marketplace. Sarah, I'm almost off our soapbox here for the day. So now we go into our traditional Apache Junction. This is the numbers for Apache Junction. Next slide. This is the numbers to back up what's happening in Apache Junction. And I'll do one more and we'll close it down for the day. Here's Avondale. It's up 319%. It's up 0.1% from a year ago in home price. Next slide. And then here's the numbers to back that up. Sarah, boy, I don't think I've ever talked so fast in all of these classes that we've held. I hope there was some good information for the people online or listening to this in the future. There's a pure intent there. You guys at Landmark Title, I know you're helping Eliza as we speak, so thank you. You guys always do a great job. We appreciate you, and again, I hope this knowledge, information share is helpful to your audience.
It is absolutely amazing. So like I said in the beginning, guys, we're going to go through these quickly. However, all of these slides are available as soon as we hop off of here. So you can reach me at Sarah with an H .touchstone@ltaz.com. And I send these to the business development managers too. So you can reach out to them, and these will be available as well, because we do kind of cruise through them, but they are very area specific. So, you know, you're going to want to, once again, like I said, be that hyper local agent, work your area, and pick out the stats that work for your area, and let the people in your area know what's going on. Knowledge is power, especially in this market. So thank you, Scott, for coming on. Once again, amazing information. I think some of our speculations from earlier in this week have been confirmed, which is awesome. And of course, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you market insights on the first Thursday of every month. We're going to go ahead next month and plan to do this live and in person in our Biltmore area. So stay tuned. We're going to be putting tons of information out there for you all regarding that. And join us, you know, next year, 2023, it's going to be a new year, new market, new you, right? So let us know how we can help you through the end of this year, moving into 2023 as well. It's going to be a great year for real estate. So go out there and make it a great year for you. And that's it for us today, guys. Thank you, Scott.
My pleasure. Great to spend time with you, Sarah. Again, a quick and sincere congratulations on the new home.